is a difference between you and me. We both looked into the abyss. But when it looked back at us, you blinked.
Hi guys, I'm Grifer here, and welcome to another DC Legends video. So, I put a poll up on TikTok. Which Flash do you think is better in DC Legends? Wally West or Barry Allen? And in a boat race, Barry Allen Flash, fastest man alive, won. So, based on that poll, I've decided to do a character guide centered around the Flash. But first, what we're going to do is, I'm going to draw. Here, I have two draws. I'm looking for, again, my Kaga and Brainiac. Those are the two I'm going for, so let's see if I have any luck today. Like I needed another cyborg. I'm trying not to curse right now. Wow, really? Really, though? You can't... I'm tempted to cut just so I can curse a little bit before. Oh, whatever. Okay, so anyway, first things first. Flash. I have, well, I think there's only three. No, I don't have his fourth skin. I don't have Old Man Flash, but I do have this original skin. Then his, the one when he goes legendary. I'm not a fan of it. I prefer the normal, honestly. And then the Blue Lantern one was one I had to grind for so hard during a raid last year that it literally made me tired for 2 months, and I didn't grind raid anymore for 2 months. And then that whole Red Sun Superman fiasco happened, and I haven't been grinding raid ever since. But yeah, this took a lot of work, and it was 100% worth it. Now, on his kit, light damage to an enemy, 50% chance to strike twice, gain 1 speed up. Now, that's the legendary point. Now, that 50% chance to strike twice, it feels like it does it all the time. It's amazing. I love it. Gain 2 speed ups, 90% chance to purge 2 debuffs from Flash. I left it at 90 because 100% to 90%, man, not a big deal. Gain debuff immunity. That is also an awesome ability. Damage to an enemy, 10% damage per speed, plus 10% damage per speed up on Flash. This is where he gets a maximum of 100%. Now, this doesn't hit like super hard, but it does some decent damage. And then the legendary point, cooldown -1 and 50% chance to gain 30% turn meter. So, it's a pretty good ability. It really is. But if I'm being honest, whenever I'm using the Flash, I only use the first two, especially since a lot of times I run him with Lex SS. Like this one just makes him buff because... yeah, and then that sets off Lex. And this one, he's also buffing. And so if I just use these two, he's stacking up speed ups like a madman. 1 speed. 41% chance to use speed punch on random enemy at end of each ally's turn if Flash has plus 3+ speed ups. Extra 25% chance to use red streak. So he does this red streak thing all the time. And he also does the speed punch all the time. It says 41%, but it feels more like a 50-50 chance, if not more. And then this here, 85% chance to get an additional speed up each time Flash gains a speed up on his turn. So that means basically with his A1, he's going to be gaining 2 speed ups. With this one, that means he's going to be gaining 3 speed ups. And for those of you who all of Flash's attacks ignore awareness if he has 3+ speed ups. This was very key. This happened in a rework about 2 years ago, and it makes him very, very viable against those awareness stacking teams. So in any case, he stacks the speed ups like a madman, and then he just kind of goes nuts. And there's been oftentimes where he just outright takes over matches for me. So that's his kit. It works really well together. It's a great synergy. And there was one time, and I did a video of it like a while ago, where I was facing a firestorm and he ended up taking 14 turns, like not the out of turn stuff that he does with his punches, but 14 legitimate turns where I had to make a decision before Firestorm took 1. That's how many speed ups he has. Now, in terms of synergies, I'm gonna take him to PvP and give you one thing, and I figured this out actually with the Black Flash review that I did. With a lot of the speedsters, they don't really have quote-unquote synergies. There are tunes that they work better with or worse with, but a lot of them are plug and play where you can plop them in and they're going to help whatever team that they're on. This Flash, for example, though, he doesn't really help your team. He just kind of does his own thing, but his own thing is pretty amazing. But at the same time, he's not really contributing anything to a team unless you have someone like Lex, who will give turn meter and overheal every time a character buffs. Since Flash is buffing all the time, it works well. If you have another character like Donna Troy, who gives out awareness if you have a certain number of buffs. I believe if you have more than 3 or 4 buffs, then she gives you an awareness each time you have a turn. So since he has so many turns and he's stacking so many buffs, she's handing him awareness like it's Halloween candy. Then on top of it all, when you have someone like Barda or anyone like that, you run him next to a character like that. He isn't squishy, but he isn't exactly tanky. You protect him. He's getting all these turns over and over and over again, stacking up speed ups, and he can just take over matches. There's no other way for me to really say it. I just have to show it to you. However, one person you want to be cautious of, and I'm sure if you've played this game long enough, you already know, Wonder Girl. If he goes up against a Wonder Girl and he starts stacking buffs, she will light him up. End of discussion. So, that being said, let's get into some matches. So, I wanted to clarify something. When I said that he doesn't have any real synergies or that he's really plug and play, I mean that the synergies that he has with other characters are mostly one way, meaning he doesn't add anything to a character, but there are characters that you can place him with that make him better. So for example, Donna Troy, he buffs like a madman, and there is a Wonder Girl on the enemy team, which I am a bit worried about. But with Donna Troy, if you have more than, I think it's 4, I can't remember if it's 4 or 6. If you have more than 4 buffs at the end of your turn, then she gives you an awareness. Since Flash has so many turns and he stacks so many speed ups, he basically gets just a load of awareness that helps protect him in the meantime. So I always just stick with this A2. As soon as the A2 comes up, I always use it. Not to mention the fact that with Donna Troy, she reduces the cooldown of all abilities for the team, so that A2 is going to come around a lot faster. Now, why am I using the A2? Well, because both Harley Quinn and Arcus, and just in general, I use it all the time, but just so you know, Harley Quinn and Arcus both have retaliation. If Harley Quinn evades an attack, she will retaliate very often if it's on defense. If you hit Arcus and cause damage, then he will retaliate very often. So if I use that A2 and you just saw him take out Wonder Girl and you saw him take out Batgirl, he's basically taken over the entire match now that the other two are gone. But where was I getting to? Oh yeah, so if I use the A2, then his attacks, which are out of turn, become passive, and Harley Quinn and Arcus will not hit back. So in this lineup, we go again with the Donna Troy. You have Martian Manhunter, so that means this team will start off with 2 awareness, helping keep Flash protected in case of attack, help him stack those buffs, have Donna Troy giving out all that awareness. Now, to explain something a little bit further, for those of you that don't know, a retaliation cannot be triggered by a passive attack. So I run the A2, the A1 attacks out of turn, because like I said, it seems to happen all the time. The A1 attacks, and just like that. And so now Arcus won't be procced and attack the Flash based on that. Thankfully, we have 3 awareness from Donna Troy, so that protected us from Arcus. Flash takes over just for a little bit to take Arcus out. You see how fast he's going. He had 2 turns back to back immediately. It's insane. I'm trying to think. I might try to do this with the next video. I want to count how many turns he gets before like a certain enemy on the other team. I think he had like 3 or 4 turns there before Owlman got 1, but I'm going to try to count it for the next go around. I'm not sure how much longer this battle is actually going to last. So that should be the end of Owlman coming up. And then Flash will take out Martian Manhunter, regardless of his awareness, because since he has so many speed ups, he's ignoring awareness. So now I'm using Poison Ivy. I want to use Poison Ivy's A4 to copy the Flash's buffs, all of his speed ups, to spread to the rest of the team, to hopefully speed up the rest of the team. Now, the major problem I ran in here, and I'm just going to tell you ahead of time, is that Superman is remarkably obnoxious and tanky. So this battle lasted for a long time. So I started doing some cuts in the middle of the battle just so you didn't have to. This battle lasted for 20 minutes. So just so you don't have to watch it all the way through, I made some cuts into it. Now, with Poison Ivy, I don't want to use her A4 yet because there aren't enough buffs on Flash right now. So I'm going to use his A2, continue to use his A2, continue to use his A2. See, that's 2 turns back to back. I should have counted. And then as he has more speed ups stacked, then I'm going to use Poison Ivy's A4 and copy them over. So let's see. Azrael got a turn just now. That was an out of turn move. So before his next move, how many turns does the Flash get? I think Azrael is actually pretty fast too, now that I think about it. 1 turn, he's stacking those speed ups. That's 2 turns since Azrael's last turn. Poison Ivy's going to copy those speed ups to everyone, which is fantastic. That's 3 turns. So I had to cut it up. Probably not a good time to count. So there was 3 turns before Azrael even got to 1. Might have even been 4. So I cut to this point so you can see by the time Donna Troy fell, look at how many awareness Flash has. This will last him through the rest of the battle. He won't take damage for a very long time on the strength of all that awareness that he has. Now, end of the battle, finally, getting Superman out of the way, and we win. Not the cleanest win, took way too long, but it's a victory. Now here, I'm running him with Kilowog because I think that any characters that give a buff of strength on Flash is actually just fantastic. They may not last for more than 2 turns. However, because he has so many out of turn moves, he's doing a lot more damage with an enhanced speed up from Kilowog, for example. So I'll just hand over those enhanced strength ups to Flash, and that'll just multiply his damage. And then be sure to have Superman and Power Girl there. Also, when they get hit and take a critical shot, they get enhanced strength ups, which is awesome because of Kilowog. But they also protect Flash from getting hit. Azrael can with his True Sight, but I think Flash will make short work of him pretty soon. God, Azrael hit so hard. Okay, Power Girl takes him out. She has a crap ton of strengths up and speed ups right now too. And look at all those speed ups on Flash. It's absolutely nuts. And now he gets another enhanced speed up because of the critical attack, and then he gets 2 more. So he's got 4 enhanced strength ups right now. And you see how she did not react even though I missed her. That's because it's all passive attacks. Use the A2, he's attacking out of turn, but she isn't going to do anything about it because it won't proc. So use that to get rid of her. I can't, Cassidy's so annoying. She's not hard to she's not devastating, but she is so annoying in these situations. So there you go. And I think the next one, so yes, running him now with Hippolyta. She gives strength ups. I put the strength ups on the Flash. Well, actually, the whole team gets the strength ups. But now his out of turn attacks are even more devastating. Just like you saw with Kilowog. There isn't really like a whole lot to say. Run the A2. Hopefully he attacks Arcus out of turn. Use Superman to shield them. Hippo gives the strength ups. Try to use... Go ahead and use Black Hand to get rid of Arcus. And then go to work. But as you have been able to see, I'm really just hammering his A2 over and over and over again, stacking buffs. And he's just going nuts all over the place. And if you look at his A1, it doesn't seem like it's doing a lot of damage. And it's not. And having the strength ups and the enhanced strength ups help. But it seems like it's not doing a lot of damage. But if you're doing 7,000, as you just saw, 8,000, and that attack lands 2, 3, 4, 5 times because he's taking all of these out of turn hits, then you're sitting there looking at 35 to 40,000 in damage. That's 11,000 to crit right there because of his strength ups too. And just keep mashing the A2. So in any case, I hope you liked it. I'll try to do more synergies. If you want it, let me know, comment below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.